Welcome back to the channel, guys. Slav Squad here. Today we're going to be doing the reassembly of this YFZ450 engine. So if you haven't seen the disassembly portion, the link is right up here. Go ahead and watch that if you want to learn, or if you just want to see how that works for anybody that's curious and just kind of seeing how the engines are taken apart and put back together. But anyways, we're going to begin the reassembly. So stick around, and I hope this helps some of you guys. Before we continue, if you guys see back here, there's a snowmobile, and that's right, we're going to be doing snowmobiling content this year, so it's going to be freaking awesome. I'm new to it. We're going to learn. You're going to watch me fail. You're going to watch me learn, but stick around and go through this process with us, I guess. Anyways, let's get back into the video. We're going to start off with some assembly lube redline. I've used this in my YZ450, and I'm going to use this in the YFZ450. And I put a generous amount of lube last time in my YFC, or my YZ, and I'm going to do the same thing. You just need to change your oil a few times after you get it all put together, so you don't have all this running inside the engine. And alright, next step, we're gonna take some of this 3-bond liquid gasket gray. Yamaha recommends the Yamaha one, Yamaha something, I don't remember what it's called. This is the same stuff. It's what I used on my YZ450. I'm gonna start just by kind of putting it on here, and then I'll use my finger. A little too much over here. Got all that in. Now we find what bolt goes where. I don't want the glue to. I don't want that glue to dry up. So I have one of these bolts that is not working. Like these top two, this one barely went on. There was just like this much left to grab on, barely. On this side, none of the bolts would go on. It was too short or too long. I checked every single one. It's really confusing. So I just took the spare, or one of the bolts off this spare engine, and that one is right here. It says 8. It worked. And I put the other one back here, and that one worked, so whatever. I'm gonna put some assembly lube right here where it's gonna be riding along. And then I'm gonna put some around here. And then we're gonna put her in here. Now, on this side, we're gonna put the sprocket in. So you can see there's a dot right here. There's a dot on this one as well. Just like so. Dots are aligned. Now, this right there. We're gonna get a penny, stick it on the bottom side now, torque this down to 32 foot-pounds. We never took this off, we're gonna leave it as is, and then punch the little bearing, or not bearing, the little washer thing in so that this doesn't move. I'm gonna put this guy in, the little crown's facing in. Don't forget your woodruff key. Put the penny back here again. And torque this down, 47 foot-pounds. We got some Scotch-Brite and we cleaned off all the ends on both sides for the gasket to go on. Cleaned off where the oil filter is, where the water pump is. Clean the water pump inside, oil filter cover on the outside. Now we're gonna take some braking parts cleaner, choke cleaner, whatever it is, and we're gonna spray everything all down. Don't forget these little things that go there. It's like a little guide or whatever you want to call it. Got this all cleaned up, top and bottom, looking good. Now we're gonna get some oil, put on our finger, rub the inside. We are gonna skip ahead and do the top end because we're still waiting for that shifter shaft to come in because it's bent. So we're gonna do the top end and then we'll do that side last. Alright, I finally got that in. Now, I'm gonna grab this chain. I did forget to put these in, so don't do that. That's not smart. Make sure you get them in the right spot. I'm gonna double check to make sure this is the correct. I believe one right here and one on this side where I'm trying to put it in. What's a good idea to do is to take a straight edge, and I only have this as a straight edge for now, and take about a 0.06 millimeters, something really small, on your feeler gauge. You want to lay this down flat, and then you want to try to stick the feeler gauge under and just check everywhere to make sure that your head is straight and there's no warping going on. If this feeler gauge goes under the straight edge, then you have warpage there, and you should probably take it to like a head shop, a cylinder head shop, where they can get that fixed for you, getting it straightened out. This is good, and you want to do this on the head, the actual head itself. Make sure that it has a flat surface. I already cleaned up the other side. Be very careful that these buckets and shims don't fall out. These buckets are specific for each side, so if you mix them around, you're gonna have issues. And the shims as well are specific for each side. If you mix them around, you're gonna have valve adjustment problems. So when I spray this down, I'm gonna be very careful that these buckets don't come out and I mix everything up. Testing for if these valve stems are good, if they're not leaking. And they're good. We sprayed brake cleaner in here, intake, brake cleaner in the exhaust. And if it leaks out the bottom through the valves, then you know that they're leaking. As you can see, I'm dumping the brake cleaner out each side. Nothing leaked, so this head is good and ready to be put back on the bike. We're gonna finger tighten these as well, and then we'll actually tighten them down once the head studs are fully torqued down. Alright guys, so now we're gonna do the torque specs and sequence for this head. What you have to do, you start over here on the right intake side head stud. tighten that down 22 foot-pounds. Then you go across on this side, 22 foot-pounds, 22 foot-pounds, 22 foot-pounds. Then you loosen it up all the way, and then you're gonna go again 14 foot-pounds, 14 foot-pounds, 14 foot-pounds, 14 foot-pounds. After you're done with that, you then do 90 degrees. So if your torque wrench is sitting like this, you want it to finalize like this, 90 degrees. And then you do the same order, 90 degrees each, and then you do it one more time, 90 degrees. I already did the 22 foot-pounds, and I already backed it out all the way. So let's take our torque wrench, take it down to 14 foot-pounds now. Here, 14 foot-pounds. Okay, now 90 degrees. So I'm gonna start off up here so it's easier. We're gonna go 90 degrees. This one's gonna be harder now. Tighten these guys in. Alright, we already put the cams on there, and we put some more lube on the cams. Now we're gonna get this engine at top dead center down here, and then we're gonna set it up here. Since we don't have the cover on, I'm gonna go to the other side and look at those sprockets on this side, make sure those dots align. I'm gonna pop this cover off. Let's see. This is just temporarily put on. And if you look down here, let's see here, right there. So we got that set up. Good. Once we tighten it, we'll see for sure. Make sure you don't drop these into the engine, because that would be not very fun to get out. Got that guy in. We tightened up all the cam bolts, the covers, and we just kind of did them boom, 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 boom. Just kind of crisscrossed all of them, not just like one next to each other. Then we got to put this cam chain tensioner. It says up. When you put up, goes right there. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand since my GoPro died. Alright, let's release this cam tensioner. Okay. So now the chain is tight. Dot is up here. That one is down there. Let's see if we can get a, what is it, 17. And rotate. So that looks pretty good. The problem is down here, they're not aligned. Okay, I see the problem. There's two dots. One is supposed to be facing up, one to the side, one right there if you can see this way, and there's one right down there that's facing down. So this should be facing up as well, and this to the side. So we're gonna loosen this and turn it. Then we should be good. So that did the trick. It's still one tooth off. I need to turn the sprocket over one tooth up, and then it'll be right on. Before I take it apart again, I want to check the valve clearance to make sure that's on spec. If that's on spec, I don't have to take it off multiple times. I can just move this and then torque down these camshaft covers. So let's see. Intake's supposed to be 004 to 006. So let's see where we're at. This is 004. Feels pretty good. Let's go on this side. This middle one is about an 004. This one right here is about an 005-ish. Same with this one here, so intake's good. Exhaust is supposed to be 008 inches to 0010. These are about an 008, so those are good as well. So all we gotta do is move this one tooth forward, and then we're gonna tighten these down to about 8 foot-pounds. There we have it, y'alls. Right on the money. On the money, boys. Look at that. Now, 8 foot-pounds on top. She's ready to go. And then don't forget to put this cover on. I got that valve cover put on already. Got those cam cover bolts on. I put Loctite on them. We got our new shift shaft. Whatever it's called, that's what I'm calling it. This one's not bent. Should work now. So we had to go back because we put this on wrong. You have to make sure when you put this basket on that space is left in there. And it might take some pulling out and putting back in and spinning some gears around to make it go in, but you got to make sure it's in all the way. And then after you do that, then you can put this guy on. There we go. Now we're gonna put this like lock washer thing. Just like that. And then now this bolt, this nut, the little cuts, they were facing up when we pulled it out the first time. So that's how we're going to put it in. And we're going to tighten this down to 54 foot-pounds. This is where our tusk tool comes in handy, tusk clutch tool. So we got that locked in. I want to have it rest right there, so I'm not using two hands. And we're going to get this tightened to 54 foot-pounds. Might be a little struggle since I don't have an engine stand, but you gotta work with what you got. After we did that, we bent this little tab in, if you can see, to lock the bolt in. We're going to bend this side up as well, and we're good to go. Now for the next step, you're going to take this ring. It's the very first ring that goes in, and it says on it outside right there. If it's hard to read, I'm sorry, but that's the very first one that goes in. Then after that, you start putting your plates in order. Make sure they're clean. You can kind of inspect them a little. The very first plate's going to be thinner than the rest because of that ring. So everything looks okay. Take your ball, put that guy in there, take your little push rod deal, put that in there. I'm gonna move the shifter or the little clutch rod to make sure that this is actually working. It is, so we're good there. Now I'm gonna put this guy on. Make sure that clicks right in, goes in its spot. Now, in a crisscross pattern, we're gonna tighten these down. I'm gonna do a little at a time. Now get your torque wrench and torque it down to 5.8 foot-pounds. Don't forget your dowel pins. We got this hooked up again. Make sure you have a copper washer on both the inside and the bottom of both of this and the one down here. It's all just like a T connection. And that is a finished one, guys. The engine came in with no magneto cover. This side of the cover is at the customer's house, but this engine is all complete and ready to go. Everything is good. All it needs is an oil filter, and it needs some oil, obviously, the cover on this side, and should be ready to go. So if it's helped you guys, please consider liking, subscribing, hit that notifications button, and share it with your friends so I can help somebody else out. And if you stuck with us this far, thank you so much, and I appreciate all the comments, all of the interactions and everything. So hope you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you in the next video.